Welcome back to Pirate Talk Radio, the podcast, where we talk about a game whose water desync and poor combat systems fuck my pirate's life up as much as the United States government shutdown is fucking up my personal life and professional life. Like Jesus, rowing, swimming, shooting, hit markers, swordplay, my God. I've been praising Rare on their server stabilities, but I think I found where they stash the extra hamsters to run the server whales. It's from the core service wheels that are causing all these fucking issues and causing the game to suffer. Today, I'm going to discuss Act 2 and how I felt about it, along with my initial thoughts in playing Act 3. I'm going to deep dive into my thoughts about what was said in our most recent dev updates, and then we have gold and money and bonuses and right. Ghoul and glory coming. Why? Just why? We can't do something a bit more creative than just changing one fucking word. But in reality, it's doing nothing. There's nothing new about it. Absolutely zero. This is going to be one of those episodes. I'm telling you. Let's hit the music. Let's go.
As far north as Marauder's Arch, as far south as Booty Isle, as far east as Ruby's Fall, and as far west as Mermaid's Hideaway, Pirate Talk Radio proudly presents the most in-your-face Sea of Thieves podcast on the waves. And now, broadcasting from his mother's basement, the biggest idiot to ever pick up a cutlass, your host, Davrim!
Oh, yes, the biggest idiot to ever pick up the cutlass. And, well, look, I live here rent-free. My mother, rent-free. Thanks, Mom. She loves when I yell at things, so especially people in the game and to myself about people in this show. She absolutely loves this. So Sea of Thieves news. What do we got? What do we got for them, Johnny? What do we got coming up? What's happening? What has already happened that I haven't covered? Well, let's just start there. So, announced on Sea of Thieves news is an upcoming event where you'll be rewarded greatly for your efforts. No, it's not Golden Glory this time. It's Ghoul and Glory. Ooh, scary. From October 31st to November 3rd, you will receive double gold reputation renown along with discounts on the Pirate Emporium items, and we will see the return of Halloween-themed and Sea of the Damned themes cosmetics coming back from the beyond, the Sea of the Damned, wherever those Halloween-y things and things go to. They'll be coming back to the Emporium, so if you want to check out some of those Sea of the Damned inspired cosmetics, or some of the Halloween Jacko pumpkin lantern thingy cosmetics, make sure you check that out because there's going to be sales, there's going to be deals. So if those things are things that you want to pick up, make sure you check that out. Halloween weekend, I believe the Emporium sale actually starts on the 28th of October. Ghoul and Glory starts on the 31st, but it goes through the beginning of November. So make sure you check that out if there are some cosmetics from the past that you want to pick up that are Halloween-y, weenie, or Sea of the Damned inspiring. Now, you may be asking, Davrim, Ghoul and Glory sounds a lot like Golden Glory. So what's the difference? Nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. Yes, I get it. It's the Halloween season. I totally understand branding things. In the past, though, we've had events like Grogmany, Festival of Giving, and for this time of year, the spooky season, the Festival of the Damned. Each of these holidays had themed events and special things to do to partake in and get exclusive rewards and cosmetics. Look, I'll never complain about a good golden glory. You know, we love those golden glory holes. But to just change the first word and do fuck all else, it's really a testament of how far Rare has fallen from their once holiday fun and creative event place. Like, Jesus, you change one word and make this big deal about it. It's the same fucking thing. It's nothing cool. There's nothing new about it. Like, just stop it. Just call it Golden Glory Weekend and just be done with it. Jesus. It's really quite sad that changing gold to ghoul is the best thing that they can come up with, considering these events they've done in the past. It's absolutely just pathetic. Now, normally, I would also at this time mention that there are Twitch drops, but, you know, they already happened. And quite frankly, there was nothing to really cover because they're just the same old shit, normal, boring, lackluster trash that we've seen for a while, except the Voyage of Luck. You could do Twitch drops and do like 6 hours of Twitch drops and give me 6 Voyages of Luck, and I would be way more appreciative than these reskinned, reused cosmetics. It's just, I would rather have 6 Voyages of Luck, make me watch Twitch for 6 hours and get 6 voyages than this reskinned garbage. Furthermore, this was another partners only drop. Now, I only stream Sea of Thieves one time a week, so I could really care less if I had drops or not. It doesn't make any difference to me. But there are many amazing small creators trying to make a place for themselves in the Sea of Thieves space, and they're already getting dumpstered by how Twitch works their algorithm and their promotion system. But now with these partner only drops, which Rare waffles on back and forth, it really hurts those channels even more because, of course, the creators are going to get spikes in their numbers for Twitch drops. So the big boys come and play, and these small creators continue to get hurt. Again, not necessarily Rare's problem, but if you want to foster this new age of your, your new creator program, this is how you foster that trust and this love from these small creators that are going to grow up into that creator program or are in the creator program and grow up to be your next partners. This is how you show that love to them to get them there. They're already getting fucked over by all the algorithms up there. Like, just give them some drops, seriously. But I shouldn't be surprised. I've been browsing the Twitch directory for Sea of Thieves on a daily basis, and I'm seeing more and more of their long-term, large viewership partners turn to other games, even during these Twitch drops. So it doesn't surprise me that Rare is trying to woo them back with drops, knowing it drives traffic to their channels, which is, you know, a good incentive for them to stream Sea of Thieves. But let's look a little deeper. Let's actually look at the Twitch actually publicly releases via their API their statistics, so you can't yell at me like Steam stats. When you look at the statistics, Sea of Thieves has seen, out of the last 7 months, 5 months of significant drop in average viewership. Along with that viewership drop, in all 7 months, the number of creators streaming Sea of Thieves has declined month over month. Yes, we see peaks in some weeks, especially in a new update, but it is very clear that the interest in playing this game week after week, hour after hour, is declining at a rapid rate. Though Rare is doing some good things in their recent updates, which we'll talk about and address shortly, the lack of content which we've seen in Act 1 and Act 2 is just not being able to keep players hooked for more than a week. Rare has suffered for this for a while, where usually a season, they have 3 months in the season, but the content they release is done in like 2-3 weeks. The plunder pass is done, so there's nothing holding players to play there, and creators, unless the viewership is up, which is how they make their money. And here's the thing. I don't want to bash on Twitch drops too much. I don't want to bash on that, whatever. The area of content creation is up and down, and you all have your favorite streamers, and I encourage you to continue to watch your favorite streamers and support them because, they need money to pay their bills just like I do. Please give me money. But I didn't cover Twitch drops it is what it is. But I do hope that you got your north, south, east, west, up, down, left, right, select, start version of whatever Trash and Dragon set they're reskinning this time. But do you know who is not declining? Who is not at all in any way, shape, or form trashing? And who is far from being dumpsters? That would be the legendary, the notorious, and glorious patrons who support and allow my loud mouth fat ass to continue to do this as much as I can. So I want to take a moment and thank them real quick. Skemelt666, iGeffus, L-Cute, Captain Chonky, and of course, Big Bad Pad. Thank you, each and every one of you, for throwing your hard-earned coins in my face and yelling, "Dance, monkey, dance." No, please don't actually yell that. But for enough coins, I might, and trust me, you don't want to see that. If you are interested, however, in becoming a patron and supporting what I do and unlocking some exclusive perks, head over to patreon.com/DavrimTV and select from one of the many tiers of support. The lowest one starting at $1. So we passed Act 1. I talked about that. I'll talk a little bit more about Act 1 here as we lead into Act 2. But Act 2 is now concluded. The heist is done, and we're moving on to Act 3, but I want to go back as I haven't spent a whole lot of time discussing my review of Act 2. So when this new season first was announced, this whole new act system, the details were provided, and I was honestly excited. I talked about that in that episode. Each season, though still broken into the monthly updates like they've done forever, had a roadmap. It had a purpose. It had a driving force, and it had a light at the end of the tunnel to drive the content and features of the season in a forward momentum. There was a plan. I'm not going to completely crush the devs' dreams of this act system just quite yet, because they have said frequently, because of the feedback, that this is the first season of the act system, and it's not a full showcase of this season. We won't see the full showcase of how this act season plays out until next season. But I have to talk about it, and I have to review what I've seen so far. I can only review the meal that has been served to me, not the one on the menu that says coming next month. So let's get into that. I enjoyed how Act 2 began with the heist because it finally started to tell a proper smuggler story. Throughout Act 1, I was confused at who the hell these people are, what their purpose was, and why they call themselves smugglers when all they're really doing is transporting their own goods between their base camps. They're not really smuggling at all. Act 1's only new addition was a reskinned merchant items and voyages. I referred to it as Merchant 2.0, and it was a true disappointment. And based on what they said in the dev updates, they heard that feedback loud and clear. With no in-game story that was easily told without having to find the pages around the seas, follow the breadcrumb trails, stand on your head, wiggle your second pinky on your left foot, and pray to at least 3 gods and hope that they struck you with enough knowledge to understand the smuggler's story, Act 1 was a waste of time. It was a waste of whatever I put into it. I spent most of my time doing anything else other than the smuggler stuff. The smuggler stuff just kind of, we pick some up, let's go deliver it. We weren't driven to do the smuggler activities. Nothing excited me. There was nothing to dive me deeper, to get more immersed into these new characters, into Sea of Thieves. It was dull. It was stale. It was lackluster. I was really, honestly, in the middle of Act 1, really questioning if I should just put my ship on dry dock and come back next season. The only reason I didn't hang up my cutlass was they had achieved something that I had been waiting for, bitching about, and yelling and screaming for a very long time, and that was a relatively clean update cycle and stable servers. This season, should have been called Season of Stability, not Smugglers League, because at least the server stability was meaningful to the game versus the smugglers who have no point in being here as far as I can tell. I kept telling myself, just wait for Act 2. The story's going to be there. Wait for Act 2. Believe in Mike Chapman. Believe. Just believe in him. Act 2 gave a small drop in the giant bucket of questions I had with the smugglers. It answered the question of why are they here, at least in part, and what they were doing. It tied in Flameheart. We are smuggling a precious artwork piece from Flameheart's fortress away to a smuggler's camp. So it gave me a little drippy drip in the questions. Didn't tell me a full story, but at least I felt like I was smuggling. This is closer to the job of a smuggler. Take that thing, get it here, don't get caught. Now, I wasn't really feeling like I was smuggling from Flameheart. Why? Because there were no Flameheart ships chasing me. The burning blade didn't spawn on my ass and start roasting my asshole hairs. But because it was a limited time event, because you were marked on the map, other players were hunting you, which meant you kind of felt like that smuggler trying to sneak and dip and dive and get this precious item away without getting caught. It had some of that feeling until you realized you only had to do it one time, and then it was always uncontested. So it wasn't quite the feeling of the smugglers that I wanted and anticipated when they announced the Smugglers League. But Act 2 was at least better than Act 1's Merchant Alliance 2.0. The Act rewards requirements were simple. Do one successful heist. Now, I feel like this was a fair ask because of the potential in PvP and making sure everyone had a fair shot to get the limited time reward. However, you had 4 weeks to do this, and doing it one time was relatively quickly. After the first couple days, it was no longer contested. I don't know how many times I did the heist over the course of those 4 weeks, and I think it was contested one time, and that was in the first weekend. I literally stopped focusing and stopped doing the heist, even though you got a nice chunk of change from it. And the only time I did the heist was when I was like, oh, look, I'm near Crooked Mast. Let's vote on the heist and see and get it while we're here. At least we can make a little bit of money. Instead of what that event popped up and had some excitement running through me, it was just like, I can pass on it. It's like the Skull of Siren song now. Like, there was some excitement there at the beginning. Now it's just like, oh, this is an annoying little piece of paper on my mast. I feel like the days of good quality events that sparked excitement and drove people to them are in the past. Events like the War of Golden Sands and the Conquering of the Sea Forts. Those events sparked competition, excitement, something the game really needs right now to drive player engagement. Sorry, Sea of Thieves shot people. This is no dig on you, but personally, I think the engagement that social media team does with Sea of Thieves shot, dear God, it's awful. It's horrible, it's bullshit, it's dumb, it's stupid. And by the way, whatever committee votes on that, they need to get rid of them and get some fresh new eyes in there to vote, because Jesus Christ, I could probably tell I could pluck in the past month or 2 months of Sea of Thieves shots and be like, hey, here's the new theme, generate me a picture, and I would probably win. Like, literally, it's that predictable now. So Act 1 and Act 2, in my opinion, were flops. So why hasn't my Cutlass been hung up yet? Why have I continued to play week after week? Simple. The game is stable. Yes, there are issues. Combat is still in a very bad place, and no, the change to weapons swapping is not going to make it better. And water desync still makes me want to punch small kittens, and I love cats. But overall, the server health is stable. This is something I haven't been able to consistently enjoy for years. Hell, I can't even remember the last time we players have gone so many months with relatively clean and stable servers. I've said it before. You can give players the most glorious content, the most flashy cinematics, the most insane quests. But if the players are not on stable servers, they're not going to play. They're going to be frustrated. But on the flip side, if you give players stable servers, they will play. Maybe not as much as you want. Maybe not in as much as, in comparison, the commendation hunters out there, when you force us to get 500 Reaper chests or whatever ungodly number of chest of fortune commendations are up to now. But at least the experience of stable servers leaves players logging off satisfied with an enjoyable experience and not in the mood to break things and not log in again. Skeleton forts have been unchanged for a very long time. Aside from the addition of the Fort of Fortune, there hasn't been anything new to entice players to play skeleton forts. The loot is underwhelming compared to what you can do with the same amount of time investment in other activities. They aren't challenging. And the only thing you get out of this is a chance of a heightened blood pressure when you finish the fort and you see a black clothes sweat stain jump out from a curled up position under the water just outside the fort walls, running for a keg to end you, just for them to get mad when you kill them and they yell at you over the comms, "I've waited all this time, you jerks." Oh, Tuckers. They're like that angry mom in an airplane with a screaming child who puts her headphones on, but makes everyone else suffer the banshee screams of their hellspawn just to snap at you when you say, "Excuse me, could you do something about that creature you birthed? It's really annoying." And the mom's response is, "Mind your own business, asshole." Like, seriously. When you enter any type of tuck emote, a large cartoon-like sign should pop out and wave above your character with a giant red arrow that points down and a giant word that says, "You cunt," on it. Skeleton forts need help. They needed help. Past tense. Act 3 came in like Mrs. Doubtfire with her face covered in custard. "Help is on the way, dear." Many episodes ago, I did a review on sea forts when they added waves of ghost ships and how reinvigorated those forts became. Now, that was a limited time event. They were engaging, they were exciting, they were fun. It drove player engagement. What Rare has done with the Reaper fortresses is exactly what the Doctor ordered. They are not overly long, a little bit longer than normal. They're not overly challenging, a little bit of challenge. They've added interest and excitement and something more than just a sword lunge through a wave after wave after wave of skeletons and then you kill a boss. From the ghost ships to the ammunition vaults to the fucking amazing traps. Dear God, if you pull it's all the fire. Oh, Jesus, I love them. Whoo! I have died to them. I blame my crew. That vault, when it's opened up, whew, it's fun and rewarding. Exactly what these needed. I've been able to complete 2 forts so far, and they were both mega statches. Fuck you all. Yep, I got all 6 chests of fortune. But let me tell you, opening that vault and seeing all that delicious treasure and those 3 chests of fortune, I'm not going to lie, I got a chubby. And trust me, at my age, that's not an easy thing to do without a pill. I've had a lot of fun fights defending the treasure. Some searching to recover the treasure after a black-suited twat attempted, unsuccessfully I might add, to steal and bury them. And just overall the fun, doing waves of mixed types of skeletons, shooting ghost ships from the fort while my crew took to the sea. They're brilliantly designed. They're keeping the feel of the original fort intact while adding new and exciting parts to the event. I hope they reconsider keeping the mega stashes, though, at a very reduced rate compared to where they are now. once the season's over. The issue with many of their world events in the cycle is they get stale and nothing drives players to do them, unless there's a chase item, like the Chest of Fortune, which they've been moving around as the chase item to drive player engagement in that particular world event. The thought that you could get a Mega Stash is exactly the chase that these forts need to keep that excitement and to keep the experience that you're experiencing right now alive. Hell, I'd go as far as saying that they should add a small chance of a Mega Stash to all world events, except the Burning Blade, because you can get on board the Burning Blade and see what it has. So that one doesn't make any sense to add a Mega Stash to that, unless they add a secret compartment that you can't see into, and there's a Mega Stash potentially behind there. Adding a Mega Stash chance to every world event would increase players and encourage players to engage with those world events, instead of just letting them expire until the chase item event emerges. Would this fix the player engagement? Would this bring players back? No, but it would be a small step in a positive direction to reinvigorate the entire world event system. Now, we've had 2 dev updates since that I haven't covered. One I think was in September, one is in October. And in these dev updates, Drew discussed not only things which they have released, but also their plans that they're going to be working on and the priorities in the coming months. So we're going to bring back something I haven't done in a while. We're going to bring back, I like it, I know other people like it, but a segment that I haven't done in a long, long time. And that is the good, the bad, and the what the fuck. Let's first talk about the good. And unlike most of these segments, I've actually got a list of good things and decent changes that they're either in place or coming. So, I'm talking good about you, Rare. I've got a list. Now, we've got some bad things too, but I've got the list of goods bigger than the other things. Aren't you proud of me? Can I have a cookie? Please? So the first thing on the good list that I want to talk about is something that people have been asking for a while, that cheaters, hackers, and exploiters have figured out how to do, and that Rare has tried to put a stop to it, and that is field of view. So Rare has added the ability for you to adjust your field of view up to 110. Now, the people who were exploiting and hacking this, those offenders were banned or suspended. But this ability to increase your FOV has been asked for by players for quite some time, and it's finally here. Just giving the players the ability to increase the general base FOV would be great. But guess what? Rare took it to the next level. Rare that they did this. Get it? Fun? Yeah, you can boom me. It's thank you. No, thank you. Thank you. So they did this based on feedback from what? The newly reinvigorated Insiders program. My God. They actually made changes to what they were doing based on the Insiders program and feedback? It's a new day. Rare elected to take the first just general FOV to 110 option, and they expanded this feature by allowing players to change the FOV to not only the overall, but customize based on the activity they were doing, such as helming, firing cannons, different types of weapons, adjusting sails, etc. This highly customizable feature allowed players to adjust their FOV to fit their playstyle. Personally, after playing around with these settings for a while and using the 110 FOV option, I noticed that I got severe headaches after a very short amount of time, and this is no blame or fault of Rare, that's why it's customizable. So I've tweaked the settings, I've played with different adjustments, I've talked to some other players, and what I've landed on is for me not to get a headache and have a good experience, I've landed at about 100 FOV with some other custom FOVs based on the activity that I'm doing. I love this change. I love that they listen to the players. I love that they listen to insider feedback, and they've created something really nice and really good. I love that this change allows you to see more of the weapons and really brings more immersion into the game experience in a very simplified way in what your character sees. Next on the good list, like Santa Claus right now, I'm going to call this, because it's got a couple things in it, the annoying little things. There has been a variety of small changes which make the overall game experience better, and that starts with something they're working on, which is the emergent events. So we're talking Megs, Skelly ships, Kraken, those type of things. The team is working right now to adjust how emergent events interact when a player is in PvP. I'm sure everyone who's listening right now has slammed something down and yelled, "I got rared" at some point when playing this game. It is so annoying when you're in the heat of the battle against another crew, defending your ladders, repairing your ship, bailing, bucketing, doing all that stuff, and you hear the sound of a Meg surface. The sound of a Skelly ship rise from the depths, or even the roar of the Kraken. But wait, not just one, but all three spawning on you at once makes PvP a really bad, randomized, and too variable part of the game. It removes the skill-based side of PvP, because you could take a bad hit from a Meg or something and get launched off your boat gets boarded and you can't get back on, or it sinks. It's just not good. And I understand that they love their emergent events and they've always kind of wanted that randomization and kind of craziness, but we're at a point now in the game where we've got to clean some of this stuff up, and it just feels bad, and we've got to fix the feel bad moments. It's one of the most frustrating experiences in the game, and it's so incredibly random and does not allow for a fair fight. Yes, it's a pirate game, and pirates don't fight fair. But if you've ever had a Skelly ship spawn on your enemy and you're excited, but then just to see it, instead of attacking them, kicks in the crazy hyperdrive and heads right for you, turning the tide of the battle against you. I honestly can't wait for this feature to be implemented. I'm looking very, very forward to this change. The next feature that they're working on is PvP ship migrations. Though I'm a huge advocate of always going back after losing a PvP fight and trying to reclaim your lost treasure. When you win and the player comes back, like recently on a stream, 5 or 6 times, becomes less fun and more of an annoyance and a waste of time and supplies. Currently, the Rare team is working to see how they can take the Hourglass migration system and implement it into the normal game, where if a ship loses, it's migrated off the server, specifically loses in PvP. I do hope they're careful with this, though, and at least give the losing player or players one final chance to return. I don't think it's fair to kick them off after one loss, because ultimately you could be doing something and not watch the horizon, and though, yes, it's your fault, it's still, maybe if you would have had a fair one-on-one fight, you could have won that. So giving players at least one time to come back, I think is fine, because bad luck happens. But I don't think players should get multiple chances to come back. That just becomes annoying, frustrating, and I've heard it from other players, myself, content creators, whatever. It's a general understanding, in fact, that having players coming back 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, it makes your player experience bad. It's just awful. The bad. Drew began to talk about some changes to weapon swap animations. Weapon swap animations. In the past, Rare has made many changes to the game to try to reduce the double gun effectiveness from being able to quickly fire 2 shots back to back with animation cancellation. Though I appreciate their attempts they've done in the past, they've never got to the root fix. They've never got it fixed properly. They've never got it balanced properly. Drew said their plan is to work on getting a swap animation that is just base across the board 1 second. Currently, right now, you can browse YouTube, Twitter, all those different social media platforms and see basic tutorials of how to do cancellation animations right now in the game, Act 3, and swap your gun between 1.3 and 1.6 seconds if you're good. And if you see that, frankly, that's too fast. Though this is a video game full of magical cannonballs and reanimated skeletons, we are wielding historical weapons. I'm not saying they should bring these weapons to a historical accurate state, but if players are already swapping their guns in 1.3 to 1.6 seconds, and they want to standardize it to a quicker 1 second, it's just going to bring back the dominance of an already dominant double gun meta. And this is something they've spent years to try to balance. They're not balancing it here. They're just taking off the guardrails and making it better so that you either learn how to double gun or you just die. I understand that there is a group of players that want a skill level of high level PvP. I get it. I understand that they want to choose that. But newsflash, folks, this is not a competitive esport. This is not Counter-Strike. This is not, Valorant. Okay? It's not that. It was never designed to be that. There is no competitive mode in this game. But wait, Davrim, what about Hourglass? Fuck off. Tell me what your win-loss record is by looking at the UI in the game. Tell me it. Tell me your UI. Tell me your win-loss. It's not in the game. Tell me what leaderboards the game has in their UI showing who has the best win-loss records worldwide. It's not a competitive game. Show me the money, sponsorship, cash prizes you receive for the numerous Hourglass championships that are out there. Show it to me. Show me your bank accounts. Give me money. Rare lost their only chance of a competitive game mode when they failed to put in the effort into the arena. The official esports tournaments that could have been created around that are crazy. Hell, I'm wearing my cutthroats, my little cutthroat shirt right now. They were part of the Notorious Arena League. An absolutely brilliant, homegrown, grass-driven, player-made competition esport inside the arena that had cash prizes. The system of Hourglass right now does not allow for any of that. There has never been a true, proper, supported esports system in Sea of Thieves. So when you're a PvP player and you want to achieve, I want to be the best, well, guess what? You can't be because there's no leaderboards. There's no money in it. There's no esports. Right? I want to be the best baseball player in the world. Okay, well then join a MLB team. Well, I can't. Well, then you can't be the fucking best baseball player in the world. Best baseball player in the world is making tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars out there. So get out there and do it. Oh, I can't. Well, then you're not the best. I'm sorry. Have the hardware to show that you're the fucking best. And there's nothing in Sea of Thieves. Currently, right now, they had the closest with the arena. I don't know with these custom servers if they're going to get anywhere with that. But right now, there is no esport in Sea of Thieves. Stop fucking bitching about competitive PvP. Make the game fucking fun. And 1 second double gun switching, not fucking fun. Personally, I think the proper fix for this is you can make the gun swap animation instantaneous. but the reload animation can never be canceled. And when you bring out a new gun, you have to watch the reload animation. Call it ready and stow if you want to. I don't care. Just there has to be a standardized animation that you cannot skip, you cannot cancel. Make the gun swap instantaneous, but there's still an animation that has to occur before you can fire that fucker. That way, if you're using a single gun or a double gun, you gain 0 advantage because you can skip the ready stow animation. It happens regardless. This to me is a proper fix. This is a fair fix. PvP players, you still have to be good at your shot. That's still skill-based to a point. You still have to be good at that. If you want to run double gun, you still have to be good at all that. But reducing that swap fire, it's not fun. It's not fun to play against unless you're another quick swapper. That's the only people who have fun playing against that, which is not the majority of the players. The people who want this are the small, tiny, itty-bitty, insignificant, like I'm talking like micro-peen people out there. That's how many people actually want this. The fix that Drew referenced is literally just going to bring back the overpowered, overbearing, and frustrating double gun meta that Rare has tried to destroy for years. Look, I'm a fair person, so I'm going to give anyone out there who thinks this is a good change, I'm going to give anyone out there who thinks that being good at PvP and Sea of Thieves actually fucking matters in life, I'm going to give you an opportunity to prove me wrong. I'm going to give you an opportunity, and if you can do this, I will retract my statement, and I will say that Rare is making the right decision, and this is proper. Here's how you do it. Get your recording device out. Go out there and find yourself a muzzle-loading flintlock long-barreled rifle and a flintlock blunderbuss. You can find them. They're going to cost you a lot of money, but you can find them. You have to get both of them. You have to store one somewhere on your body while you hold the other one. Now, you have to record yourself. You can preload them. I don't care because in the game they're preloaded. You have to record yourself firing one of the guns, swapping the other gun, and firing with pinpoint accuracy on both of your shots. And you have to accomplish the fire, swap, fire with pinpoint accuracy in under 3 seconds. It has to be recorded. If you can do that, I will retract this statement and say that this is proper. But it has to be a long-barreled muzzle-loader flintlock and a true period flintlock blunderbuss, and you have to be able to shoot twice with those guns. They have to be attached, you know, like the pirate. You have to do it like the pirate, and you have to hit with pinpoint accuracy in under 3 seconds. The swap and the shots with perfect accuracy in under 3 seconds. Record it and send it to me, and I'll retract this. If you can't do that, if you can't record that, present that evidence, then sit your ass down and shut your damn mouth. Seriously. Seriously.
If you don't like it, don't fucking watch it.
I'm all for second chances. But this mass ban lifting is absolutely bad for the game. I've said it so many times in the many years I've covered this game. Rare needs to do a better job of creating a game that keeps players. Not a game that gets an influx of players that leave quickly because of the state of the game. All the stats out there that are public point to Sea of Thieves player base is in a constant and has been in a constant decline. To me, this mass unbanning and we forgive you, please come back so number go up that statement is bad for the game. These people who were banned, they made their choices. They broke the rules. Let them live with it. There are consequences to all actions in life, both positive consequences and negative consequences. These folks broke the rules. Now let them sit in the corner and live with the choices they make. Now, what I think is okay is an appeal system. Having an appeal system opened up that any of these people who've been banned in the past can submit a proper appeal, not just please look, unban, please. A proper appeal explaining why they should be unbanned. And then have them relook at the original offense and unban them. But a blanket unban of thousands of counts is just a bad way to operate. And a bad way to pump bad players back into the game just to make number go up. All right.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
It's that time. We've done the good. We've done the bad. Now, it is the time for what the fuck. Now, if you've been following this show for some time, there are certain things which just absolutely, positively fucking blow my mind. Namely, when you say something, especially when you say something is fixed, and it isn't, or it's worse. And we've seen Rare do this a lot. With the launch of Act 3, it was announced that the water desync, which players have been experiencing for a while now when swimming and rowing, has been resolved. What the fuck? Seriously. What the fuck, Rare?
You're a lying sack of crap. You're a lying sack of crap. You're a lying, scheming, stinking, nasty sack of liquid crap.
My first play session after the launch of Act 3 saw some of the worst swimming experiences I've ever had. Rowing was near impossible. And before anyone even thinks about saying, well, it was just a bad server. No, everything else was smooth and crisp. One of my crew members plays on an Xbox, the other one plays on PC, and they were both experiencing the same awful water desync at the launch of Act 3. There is no change that I can tell in the water desync, and in my opinion, it's even worse than before. Saying something which players are complaining about is fixed just for players to find out it isn't, or is worse, is one of the worst ways to rebuild trust with the players. And that's something that the studio has admitted and stated multiple times recently that they're trying to do.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Finally, Act 3 launched on October 16th. Players quickly found out that their commendations, their deeds, their rewards were not working properly. This is an issue which has plagued Rare so many times in the past, and one of the many reasons why the Voyage of We're Sorry was created. I know it's not technically called that, but that was the garbage piece of crap token of apology that we used to get so very often because, well, Rare. Nothing was mentioned or posted by Rare immediately. But later that day, which I understand, they've got to get data, they got to make sure it was happening. Later that day on the 16th after release, after they've been able to study some of the feedback, after they've been able to look at some of the data, they did state that one single commendation was not tracking properly, and they were investigating it. After that statement, there was silence. Nothing. No statements. No tweets. Nothing. Zero. Silent. Silence. October 20th. Another commendation was stated to not be tracking properly. Okay, great. Awesome. What about the first investigation? Where's that at? Finally, on October 22nd, came a post that they were going to hotfix the game on October 23rd. This is an entire fucking week after launch. Later, though, on October 22nd, they announced a delay in the hotfix. And then finally, on October 23rd, they came back stating the hotfix would go out on the 24th. This is now well over a week after the act launched, and finally we have a hotfix, potentially, it might get delayed again, coming in place. First off, let's just talk about how disgraceful and absolutely stupid this is. Commendations, deeds, rewards. That is the backbone of the grind of your entire game. These bits have been in for the better part of for the entire life of the game, over 7 years. How in the royal fucking hell do you fuck this one up? Furthermore, you announced the fix, you retracted the fix, and then you announced the fix again. It's not a really good look if you're trying to rebuild trust. First off, you fucked up something that's core to your game and your player's progression thing, and it took you a whole damn week to find a solution. Oh, but then you don't have a solution, but then we do have a solution. How do you miss it? It's the core progression system of your game. It's been in place for years. It's not like hit registration, which wasn't working in the beginning and still has chances where it's not working. This is literally tracking the progression of your players. It is a core system. How do you do this? Who pushed that code? Who's getting fired? Seriously, who fucked up? God damn it. Seriously, Rare, what the fuck?
Catch me outside, how about that?
That's going to conclude this edition of the good, the bad, and the what the fucks. But please, send me your list. What did you think has been good so far in the dev updates in the Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3? What's been your bad in all that? And of course, the best part, what is your what the fucks? You can send those over to me to the show's email. That's ptrpod@proton.me. You can also join the Discord. Information is down in the show notes, and you can message those there. Or if you want to give me money, you can become a patron who have an exclusive chat room to talk directly to me. And yes, I respond there. I will respond to emails in there, but Discord sometimes I don't look at because I only look at it at my computer and life. But seriously, I would love to read your lists, and I'll be honest. If you can word craft some interesting ways to type your good, bad, and what the fucks, I may feature them. On future episodes because I truly do like reading those. So send those over to ptrpod@proton.me. Join the Discord or come over, give me money on the Patreon. Patreon.com/DavrimTV. Give me money. Thank you all for tuning in and spending a little bit of your day and your time with me. You can find my content on youtube.com/@Pirate Talk Radio, youtube.com/@DavrimTV, twitch.com or twitch.tv. Is it TV or .com? I don't know. It's the Twitch website. Twitch thing, whatever, Davrim on Twitch. You can find me Davrim on Kick. You can find Davrim Gaming on Facebook. I'm fucking everywhere. I just don't do the social media thing. Like, you just watch the streams or whatever, and that's what you do. Like, that's what you do. And if you're interested in my personal opinions about the world, talking about history, or just whatever I want to, you can also check out my blog, which has nothing to do with gaming, at davrim.substack.com. Folks, thank you so much for listening. Please, 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 with this crazy world we live in, take care of yourselves and each other. And I will see you next time on Pirate Talk Radio.
Why you being a dickhead for? Stop being a dickhead.